So, Colton, the government inflation rate is out. The numbers are out this morning. I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a Canadian who didn't think food prices were going up. But let's talk about just how expensive right now things are for us in Canada.
Yeah, when you're looking at prices overall, they fell, but food is one of the areas where people are most focused on. And obviously this year you have two compounding impacts. You have this year-long trend of increases, especially to things that people are buying all the time. Frozen beef, coffee, those are the big two. Coffee is up almost 28%, frozen and fresh beef almost 18%. And you have varying reasons there, whether it's weather effects for coffee producers, American tariffs on coffee producing nations, the impact of droughts, years of droughts in Canada on the cattle populations, the severe weather that we've seen repeatedly in the prairies over the past few years. That dryness has caused a really significant issue. And so on a year outlook, those two factors have really driven up the costs of that weekly grocery shop. But month to month, you're also seeing very significant jumps. The biggest month-to-month jump since 2023, almost a 5% increase, 4.7% in food prices. And when you're looking at that, it's things like fresh fruits, it's sugars and confectionery, it's produced items, so things that are pre-packaged. It's also a lot of baked goods as well. And so when you combine that month-to-month increase, you combine it with that year-long impact, you're starting to see why Canadians feel as though they're being pinched every time they go to the grocery store. Now, overall, prices actually dropped, and they dropped not significantly, 2.8%. That's a little less than we saw in October, but those price changes are being driven by larger spend items, things like travel tours or hotels and accommodations. And interestingly, the hotel one is particularly interesting because that is really the Taylor Swift effect coming through. We saw hotels drop almost 7%, but largely that's driven by a 20% drop in Ontario, which happened because the Eras Tour was in Toronto in November of last year. And so you saw obviously huge price spikes for hotels and accommodations at that point in time. But when you're looking at those areas where the savings are being found, where the costs are increasing, you see that even though these overall numbers may not look that bad, it is the day-to-day purchases where Canadians are still being hit hardest.
Colton Praill for us in Ottawa. Colton, thank you. We'll catch up with you later this morning.